Well, alright, I already got an Evan Neal video up, might as well make a Kayvon Thibodeaux video as well, the 5th overall selection from the New York Giants this past draft. He was my second favorite edge rusher out of this draft class. He was some people's favorite edge rusher or favorite player even out of this past draft class, and for a good reason. I thought he played well in this game. We're going to get into the film right here and talk about it. He didn't win a ton. Like, he wasn't constantly harassing the quarterback. I don't think he ever touched the quarterback, actually, but it was still, I thought, just kind of one of those weird games where you play well, but really have nothing to show for it. That's what I saw from Thibodeaux. So here's where the first play that we're going to talk about. He's going up one-on-one against a right tackle, and so watch what happens. You're going to see him first look at that right hand and kind of just get it sort of on the shoulder pad area of the tackle where he's going up against. And to be honest, I would have loved to see Thibodeaux make a move here. And this is one of those critiques I saw in college, or critiques I have of him when I saw him in college, I should say, is I feel like sometimes he wouldn't make a move and his physical tools are there and he still made moves and he still won a lot. It's not one of those situations where it's a guy who just can't make a move whatsoever, but I would like to see it a little bit more, and very early on, this is the prime opportunity for maybe like a rip move or something, get an inside move perhaps, and he's just not going to do it. Look, he pushes the tackle back a little bit, and I think that was still a good play. Like I'm saying, I think that there were some, good losses on tape for him. I would still say that was a good loss because you put yourself in position, but it could have been a great win instead, I guess, is my point. Now let's talk about a great win, if you will. This is going to be in the running game, and what's going to happen is, again, it's going to be a one-on-one matchup, and a lot of times what you'll see tackles do in the running game, if you're going to be blocking an edge rusher, is kind of be aggressive, run up to him and hit him quickly, so by the time he realizes it's a running play, you've already got the hand placement that you want. That's typically what a lot of guys like to do. But when he does that, watch how Thibodeaux really is able to kind of pull off that pull move, and he gets over and is able to help make a tackle on the running back. So fantastic play, and that's something that you really saw on tape. Probably the biggest takeaway was just his athleticism looked great on an NFL football field, which was fantastic to see. Athleticism always looks great in college with these athletes, but sometimes in the NFL, when you're up against other great athletes, it doesn't look as impressive. No, it still looked as impressive for Thibodeaux. So that's, first box is a check right there. And something like this was a big check, a check plus. I don't think that's a thing you can say, but that's what it was. It was a fantastic play by Thibodeaux where it's going to be in the pass protection game. And I do feel like if this is a play where, listen, Hoyer's a smart guy. He gets rid of the football quickly. He's like, this is preseason. We don't have our starters in. I'm not holding on to the ball for too long. He's a smart guy. But, it's going to be a one-on-one matchup. And this is the move I think Thibodeaux will be able to pull off at the next level, or, at this level, I guess I should say. Watch how right when this play begins, you see right here at this point, it's looking like Thibodeaux is going to try to go to the outside. That's what he's kind of, he has positioning to do that. A tackle isn't as far over, so if Thibodeaux goes to the outside, then he should be able to win. But he does something very small and very subtle, and it's this kind of thing that I think will allow Thibodeaux to succeed. Watch him fake an inside move just for a split second, which was able to allow him to get enough room to get to the outside, and had that play just lasted a little bit longer, I think there's a very real chance he, gets maybe even like those are the kind of plays that can be strip sack fumbles. So that had a real chance to succeed. And still ended up being a pretty good play from Thibodeaux. So, it's preseason. You don't care about the results. You care about was the play good or not, and the play was good. So that's all, that's what you want. Now, moving over to this play, it's not going to work every time. You don't expect it to work every time. I think that's fine, but it isn't going to work every time. So it's going to be a very similar situation. It's a second down and goal play. It's, again, a one-on-one matchup, and watch what happens. Right when this play begins, you see how Thibodeaux, again, fakes as though he's going to the inside, and it seems like the tackle was a little bit more ready for this. And I think that this is something where if you can kind of get more successful inside moves going, maybe if you did pull off an inside rip move on that, play I showed you earlier, now the tackle really has to, go in on the inside move, but he's a little bit less afraid of that, more afraid of getting beat to the outside, playing smart here. So when Thibodeaux does go to the outside, he's able to get back and finish off the block. Was an incompletion anyways, but still, I still think that's a good move by Thibodeaux. I don't think it's a bad play. I just think it was well played by the tackle. But, I'm going to show the wins. I'm going to show the losses. And finally, something like this to round it out. This was actually just the previous play. than the one I just showed you, but what's going to happen is it's a one-on-one matchup, and watch what happens. Again, right when this play begins, Thibodeaux is able to sort of get, an outside rip move going, gets a little bit of pressure there. So again, good play. Was it a sack? No, but again, things have to typically go your way for a sack to happen. Usually the first read has to be closed, and then the quarterback, holds onto the ball for a little bit too long, and then you get the sack. That's how most sacks happen. What you want out of an edge rusher is to be consistently winning and to make the quarterback have to throw the ball a little bit quicker. So plays like this certainly help with that. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Thibodeaux's first performance. So one thing that you're probably going to hear me say a lot if you watch a lot of these videos I make of the preseason is the way I always try to look at this stuff is how does this, it's part of a bigger body of work. I do actually think these reps mean something. You're getting reps against actual NFL players. Like I know people might say, it's a backup. Well, a backup NFL player is still, you get more out of that than you would out of like a starting college player. So it's still valuable reps. The main issue I always have with it is it's a small sample size. So the reason, why the way I view preseason is it's just, we're getting a little bit more sample size than what we already have. I'm using it, using the college film to make my opinion of this player, but then sometimes you'll find some small tidbits. And what you kind of see here is like, hey, the explosiveness still really works right here. You can still really see the explosiveness, but the unpolishedness that he does have a little bit. And again, not as bad as some other players. He's relatively polished. He's not Aiden Hutchinson levels of polish, which is why most people had Hutchinson as a better edge rusher and would have picked him over Thibodeaux. But part of why Thibodeaux is still so great is because of the athleticism. And some people feel like Thibodeaux has the highest upside in this draft class, and I can certainly see it, and you saw it in this video. So kind of similar parallels of him and Evan Neal of the great athletes, although I would say that Thibodeaux much more polished than Evan Neal, just comparing the two guys that the Giants have, the two guys that we just talked about. But I do still think that I thought Thibodeaux had a good performance here. Again, box score won't show too much, the statistics won't show too much, but I thought that this is one of those games where I think his tape is going to outperform his, the box score, which happens sometimes. So yeah, as a whole, that's kind of what I think about Thibodeaux and his performance. It was fun to see him. I thought he flashed on the screen, certainly. So what did you guys think about Thibodeaux? Let me know in the comments below. What were your thoughts on Thibodeaux and his performance? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.